Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Google Workspace Recap, a Tab Geeks Network show. Each week we take you through everything announced by Google Workspace, discussing the updates of the week and other relevant news and announcements. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. I had a great time at the Google events in LA and Irvine. The LA office in the old Spruce Goose hangar, the former home to the Howard Hughes wooden aircraft that was an engineering marvel, except for the part where it only flew once, was just absolutely incredible. It's the coolest office I've ever been in. The hangar itself was 6 times larger. Sorry, the plane was 6 times larger than any aircraft that was built at the time, which was 1947. A little bit of a local geek knowledge here. The hangar, obviously, was just as large. So the architects, when Google took over this building, they literally built an office building inside the hangar, which is just nuts. But they also incorporated all the style and all of the history and all of the amazingness that was that building and the time period into that building, and that is the Google office. So I have a whole bunch of pictures, which I may or may not have been supposed to take, but hey, I took them anyway, so whatever. I'll have to put them together in a blog post and show them off to all of you. So stay tuned there. Oh, and I also may have had a conversation or two over those 2 days over at Google about doing a Google Workspace-focused event, possibly at the Spruce Goose offices in LA, so stay tuned for more on that as it evolves. Who knows? Maybe we'll make it a roadshow, go on the road. I guess we'll have to grease some wheels over at Google. We'll see if that happens. Anyway, Steve, how was your week?
Not too bad. I don't think anything too exciting going on from my end. Trying to think what else has been happening with me. Not much else. That's about it. I saw you did get some very interesting swag, though, from your meetup. That looks pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear the crinkly sounds going on there.
ASMR of the packaging here.
Well, you said you're not going to take it out of the packaging, but
never.
I think you might have to if you want to mount it and put it up on a wall somewhere.
I might have to, similar to a jersey. This was on the table of something that they pulled out of a box. Now, you have to remember, this is the first event that Google has done since the pandemic hit, so there was some stuff in cobwebs that hasn't been looked at in years, and they're like, yeah, we were a little rusty. We just kind of pulled this stuff out, and whatever's left over, go ahead. And I made a beeline for this table because I knew there was going to be something that I was going to want. And I picked up total nerd museum-level quality here. Amazing. Collector's item at the time. Legacy Google Workspace button-down shirt of the absolute nerdiest. It is G Suite, actually. That's correct. G Suite of the old logos. You got old voice on there, and you got to check out the feed if you're listening on the podcast so you can see all the logos we're pointing out here. And so much to the point where Steve and I were actually having to Google some of these logos to figure out which ones they were because we couldn't remember. Well,
there was also some interesting ones there. Like there was that purple AirCore one, which I'm like, I know that from somewhere. Where was that? That's from.
And then this one I didn't really recognize, which is Android Auto. And then the camera there, which I think is the original Google Lens. There's some really good Android or rather Google logo history on this shirt. And then this one, the W that we couldn't get at all, which ended up being Google Wear OS, which was pretty cool. So anyway, this is going in the museum right next to my super nerdy, still in the plastic packaging, Chrome CR48, the original unmarked Chromebook from Google. The sticker chart that came with it, I haven't unboxed it. I unboxed it. I haven't taken the stickers out of the plastic. Okay. So that's
like I thought you used the laptop though, didn't you?
No, I used the CR48 for like a year and a half. I love that thing. Yeah. Still works, by the way. Still turns on. Am I getting that right? CR48 C. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, CR for Chrome. CR-48. There was only 60,000 of them shipped out, and somehow I managed to get one. I think that's what it was. CR48.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm doubting myself now. I'm like trying to Google it.
Yeah, introduced June 15th, 2011.
Yeah, the CR48. It was totally unmarked, no logo, nothing. It was just a black clamshell. Even had a SIM slot. They never used it for anything, but it was there. The old 3G SIM. Yeah, 3G. It was pretty crazy. So, good times. But yeah, so that was my total nerdy score of the month is this guy, and that's going in deep storage. And I'm going to have to either frame it or something to put it up on the wall and make it part of the next generation background for Google Workspace recap or something. So, anyway, what are our topics this week, Steve?
Well, we have a relatively quiet week. We had
But plenty
an
to
end of
talk
week.
about.
Well, yeah, like, there's enough to talk about, but quiet in terms of features. The end of week recap post did have a small little addendum here, and it talks about the previously announced update that there would be like an additional calendar statuses in Google Chat. The rollout on that has changed. We'll talk about that when we go through all the details. And then regular updates that we had for this week include the ability to manage storage quotas in the admin consoles for your users, and something incorrect in that blog article that I noticed right away. We'll talk about that. And yeah, it not only affected me, but I think some other domains as well, like every single domain on certain license tiers. There's also another announcements here is quick access to additional actions when composing a message in Google Chat on iOS. There's enhanced menus in Google Docs to improve findability of key features on desktop. And then there's warning banners will be able to alert users of suspicious Google Docs sheets and slides on those files on the web. So, yeah, not the most exciting of announcements other than the drive storage quotas. I think that probably is the biggest one. That is definitely going to be critical for education domains, especially.
Well, I think it's going to be critical for everybody now that Google is really mandating the storage limits on stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
And sneak peek into next week, today's update that came out was saying specifically that they're now going to start enforcing that doc sheets, slides, etc. are going to count against your space. So,
yeah,
pretty important for everybody, I think.
Right. So I think what I was saying, the Google Docs are not going to be 0 megabytes anymore, zero data.
Any of the editors will not. Any new files.
Right, new files or files that are edited.
I didn't study it too close yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I got to check the API because the last time I checked the APIs, it was still reporting 0 in the API for Google Docs files that were recently created. So I'll have to see how that.
I think that might be like a June 1st go live date or something.
On the API side, or
on the actual feature side, just overall, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then there were some other topics that we did notice in the news and out there on the internet. So some productivity experts tips for return to the office. That is a Google blog article. Another one from the Cloud blog is on-demand training for Google Workspace from beginner to advanced. We have how to link a timestamp in Google Drive. Oh, interesting. I've been doing that for a while. Is that linking a timestamp to like a video file?
Yeah, it's just a Google Drive file. You can do the same thing you would do in YouTube. I didn't know you could do it to Google Drive, so I learned that this week. Thanks to somebody tweeted on I think they tweeted it, or maybe it was LinkedIn. And I was like, interesting. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I gotta advertise.
I like keep trying to hammer into my head if I learn something new. It's not just that I'm an idiot and I didn't know it. It's that, hey, maybe other people also don't know it, and we're all in this together, and there's too much for everybody to know everything. I mean, unless you're Steve, of course.
I don't know everything. I just try to know everything.
You try. And for everything you don't know, there's a spreadsheet.
Well, yeah, trying to track it all. And then there's also an article, or not an article, but a post on GCC, and this is actually in the where was this at? This was in the Customer Connect forum. So you have to have specific access to this. I believe this is the private Customer Connect forum. But for those of you that do have access, Google's looking for some feedback on a new workspace search concept. So the UX researcher there has a link to a video and a feedback form. So we will share the link to that post so that if you can access that post, you can have a look at the video. The video is controlled through some ACLs. If you're not in that group, you can't access it, or in that access group for GCC, because I tried my Workspace recap account and I could not access it.
Oops.
But it worked on my other one.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
have Google
expected.
Workspace enrolled in all of the alpha bundles and behind the
Right.
scenes and NDAs, and that's my other domain.
But you know what, the interesting thing about this is that it's talking about connecting like external data sources, and if you have access to these systems and they're in the browser and you can search that interface. So for example, let's just say it was like Vimeo, for example, right? And you could search Vimeo for videos. And typically what happens is, you go to the search screen, type in your query, and it returns back a URL with the search string in the URL. You can already deploy custom search engines in Chrome and do shortcuts to say, like for me, and like D tab is drive search. And then I have like specific shared drives that I search all the time. So I have like 3-letter acronyms for it. And then that will specifically search that shared drive only for content. So I would just like to see.
Can you search inside of a box drive, for example, a box,
Probably,
folder with that
you can
set up?
Yeah, you can probably go to
Or
box.com and log into your
private
environment.
Folder, private drive, whatever it's called.
Yeah, more than likely.
I'll have to do some testing. Well,
yeah, I don't have a Box account, but
me either.
Let's say Dropbox maybe or something like that.
Dropbox, yeah. I don't have that either. I used to. I got rid of it. I had Dropbox in 2010.
Yeah.
Back before Google Drive was really huge.
This is kind of looking at cloud search.
Before that.
But so maybe it's doing some more intelligent analysis on the data before it presents you the results. But you can just natively search these third-party tools through custom search engines in the Chrome settings. Now, I don't think you can deploy that as an admin. You can manually configure those as an end user, but you are not able to configure those as an admin for your users through things like the Chrome policies and CBCM, for example. So I would just like to see that custom search engine policy being brought into the admin console to deploy.
Well, when you search with a custom search engine, it just opens up the search in said window. Maybe this is taking a step further to say, okay, it's going to search so that it'll actually allow you to, in the address bar, click on the file that it brings up as you're searching.
No, it does that. It does that
directly.
Too.
Does it? No.
It does it for
Drive. That much. Drive, yes, but that's built into Chrome. So maybe they're working to expand that into other enterprise storage environments.
Yeah, but that's not a huge time saver. Like being able to get the full results
and emoji
back.
Responses in Google Docs is.
Yeah, I know. Like just being able to quickly search the entire and get all the results back.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, that's why they're looking for feedback. I don't know.
Yeah, I already gave him some feedback. I'd said, hey, you should deploy custom search engine capabilities in CBCM for us. I wrote this article on how to do it. Manually without the policies. But yeah, I mean that's one of the other updates. But I think we do have some additional.
We didn't talk about Workspace Legacy or G Suite Legacy.
Oh yeah,
just a
Legacy.
Reminder there.
Yeah, just a little reminder on the dates, just because it's coming. It's less than a month.
Counting down to the point in which you have to choose to take no action so that you can be extended into the no-cost option that is supposedly maybe sort of kind of coming eventually at some point.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right. Also, I want to tell everyone about a really interesting tool that might help with the G Suite Legacy free account migrations, as well as backing up paid accounts. Now, they are a sponsor, but it's actually a very helpful option, so don't hit that skip button. CubeBackup is our sponsor for the first time ever. The CubeBackup backs up your Google Workspace accounts to your local or cloud storage, such as a NAS, AWS S3 bucket, or Google Cloud Storage, and it works on every Google Workspace edition, including G Suite Legacy Free. CubeBackup is even able to back up your Workspace account from one domain and migrate it to another domain. This can be a game changer in mergers and, for anyone with a legacy-free domain, and a different paid domain that wants to combine them, such as myself. It's easy to use, it's affordable, and you're completely in control of your own data since it runs in your server, locally, or in the cloud. CubeBackup is used by 1,000 companies in over 50 countries around the world. It runs on Linux, Windows, and Docker. They're GDPR compliant, and it's super easy to use. Go over and check out CubeBackup at cube CubeBackup.com and sign up for a free trial today. Now back to the show. That was our first sponsorship. And it was so relevant. How about that?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was.
Perfect.
It looks like it's Windows, Linux, and Docker options only, right? You said something about the cloud, though. Where is that? There's a cloud.
Well, you can run any of that in the cloud. It's not their cloud. You run it in your server in the cloud or locally on your machines if you want to connect it to a NAS or something like that. But it's your infrastructure, not some other company's infrastructure storage in the cloud. You control every inch of the chain there. Yeah. And I honestly, I want to try it out myself. It's something that really looks like a wonderful option for everybody who's trying to migrate data around, whether it's from the G Suite legacy side or from just in general. I know that anything workspace to workspace migrations is a pain in the butt, which is like, come on, Google, get on that already. But it looks like this will really help. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, interesting. I was going to try to get to it before tonight's show to test it out. But, what would be nice for them to release would be like a one-click deployment from the GCP marketplace. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. Be interesting. I wonder how that would work.
It looks easy enough. It looks easy enough.
But
all it is just
even still.
It's just a script essentially that says, run this, let's say Debian Linux server and run the install script essentially, but it makes sure that it runs all the time and installs reliably. And but yeah, I'll probably do that from my own little GAM and Linux box and see how it goes.
There you go. Let us know.
Yeah, will do.
All right.
So let's look at the updates then. So let's start off with that first one pretty quick, talking about the change in rollout for those additional calendar statuses in chat. So this was the announcement that came out back on March 14th. The change here is that the rollout for rapid release domains is going to complete on the 5th of May, and the rollout for the scheduled release domains will begin on the 11th of May, and is expected to complete by the 24th of May. So a bit of an extended rollout there. I mean, I guess it's less than 15 days. It's like 13 days, right? So I guess that's the normal rollout pace within 15 days, you could say.
And they gave this to us in a recap post.
Right, they did. They did.
That one.
Yeah. And then the first update we have, let me just pull this up here so I can talk about all the details of it. So the ability to manage storage quota for your users and set these policies through the admin console has now been released. So these with this new feature, you can start to view storage usage summary for the entire org. You can view storage by specific products like Drive and Gmail, and it just looks like a pretty nice interface there in terms of the storage dashboard. Gives you an overview of your top users, the top shared drives that are being used. Gives you some quick links to resources, and then that breakdown of how that data is distributed across Drive, Photos, and Gmail, for example. And then within there, you have a link to storage settings. Now, this is where the blog post is wrong, because what it says that in storage settings, you can manage these limits in Workspace across your organization. You'll see the storage limits for your entire org, which you can customize for specific OUs and groups. And it says that this setting is turned off by default. It's turned on for some organizations, like nonprofits, for example, or very likely business starter domains, because those domains have a built-in storage limit per user that this feature is automatically getting toggled on, even though it is preset by your license type, those limits. So it's a bit misleading. And when I went into my admin console and I saw it turned on, and then I went into the admin audit logs and I was looking, who turned this on? Why was it set to 30? I didn't do this. There was no log of it being done. And lo and behold, it's because it was just done automatically when the feature turned on, and it happened on the nonprofit domain I have. So more than likely it's happening on business starters and potentially other domains or other license types that might have some storage limits. So, let's just say you had, I don't know, Cloud Identity Free only accounts. Are they set to 15? I don't know. So a bit misleading on that post there. So it may be on by default, depending upon your license type. That is what I found out.
Good catch.
Yeah. And yeah, so at launch, only super admins will have access to the storage management tools. Over the coming months, access will be expanded to delegated user and reseller admins. And when available, admins will be able to control all previously implemented storage policies, allowing them to control the defaults and create custom roles to manage storage policies for their org or users in specific org units or groups. So head over to your admin console for this feature, and it's under account settings and storage, and you can start to customize this for your users if you need to, and then also get some better insight into who's using all the data. I know for our org we had because we're a nonprofit, we have quite a few users that we'd purchased, I guess, additional storage for, that not through the admin console, but for directly from the user account. Now, it's not really that much to get a gig or so user. It's $99 a year, but now I can kind of see all those users that are above and beyond 30 gig a little bit easier, and then look to either log into their account, because most of them are old users, and then not renew those additional storage costs because we can migrate those to shared drives. So even though the data will still be the same amount of data will be used, it just will be used through shared drives instead of user accounts. So not too bad for us.
Smart.
Yeah. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, is migrating a lot of our marketing interns from over the years, all the media files that they owned, into shared drives and getting it moved into there.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it is. It's not as easy to think, because you think like, oh yeah, here's this, a folder that has all this content that this person owns. Well, no, it's not just them. It's, all the other marketing interns that created, files in there. Yep. All of that. It is, all the contractors that we worked with over the years and the files that they put in there. So even with the new, migration tools into shared folders and things like that, into shared drives, it's still going to give you an error saying, oh, too many files are not going to get moved, therefore I'm not going to move them. You still got to click now one by one through each top level folder and drag it over and be like, all right, is it that folder? Nope. Is it that folder? Nope. Is it that folder? Okay, yes. And then the other thing too is I don't really know which 4 files, or let's say, which small number of files it is that aren't getting moved as I would expect, but are getting like symlinked through shortcuts. Mm-hmm. Like, did they actually create those shortcuts, or I don't like, where does the original file now kind of reside if the folder that I'm trying to move isn't fully moving, or it's just a little bit weird trying to do all that. So it's not the easiest thing. It is not easy. So it's not straightforward. Yeah, it's fun.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, no. Joys of being an admin.
Right.
On Workspace. Yeah.
I'm sure all of our listeners can commiserate, can relate.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one. So we have some Google Chat actions here, quick access actions when composing a message on chat on iOS. So this just looks like, I think, what has been out on Android for a while. Looks like this is just the same announcement we had a while back, but now on Android. So there's that plus symbol.
Now on iOS.
Yeah. So it takes a little bit of getting used to.
It really didn't, honestly.
No?
No, not for me. And it says extended rollout, and I got it the day before the announcement dropped, so...
It takes me longer now to get to the, drive attachment, which before was that was that photo icon, for example. There's a couple icons there about
Right.
drive links, and I wish the drive insert file by drive was, and the photo one were the two like quick access buttons,
Right.
and not emojis. Like I don't want emojis
You
to
gotta
be a
have
quick access
emojis
button.
easy to access there.
No, I
But
have it built into my keyboard. Like my keyboard app
your
has it. So I
keyboard
don't.
does.
Yeah, because you should get an Android
No,
phone.
just
That's
kidding.
why.
iOS keyboard does also.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's not the Google emojis. Honestly, I don't even really like the Google emojis. I find them inferior to the Apple emojis. I'm showing my Apple love here for a second.
Well, they don't use the same
They don't.
standardization.
They don't.
Really?
They're different, and I don't like them as much. But maybe that's just because I've been on iOS for 7 years now. I don't know. But I do like the new layout.
Yes.
Honestly, it's cleaner. It's easier to get to. And the biggest thing for
I don't
me
like it that much.
was
Still don't like
format. Much easier to get to format. Instead of it being 4 clicks to get to format, it's 2, and then it's I
But
don't know, it was a much better, faster.
What do you do? What do you do in
interface.
format other than like, I don't know, like
Bolds, bulleted lists, italicize, color,
Yeah, but-
font. I do
I don't
all
know,
of
but
those
other
for mobile.
I don't know. I mean, you could just put stars around the word, like markup language. That's where markup language.
Yeah, but most
is
people
useful.
in business aren't using markup language. I am. You are, sure. We can learn it. We can do it. But
Yeah.
most of the users that are using this product are not.
Well, that's I know we talked about, or someone said there were like 4 people in the world that liked a markup language announcement.
Yeah.
But there's
I-
actually good.
That was a joke on Twitter that I copied. But I mean, if that were the case, and it were, and I would do the stars, and sure, there were certain things there that made it really easy for me. But the target audience for this app
Yeah.
are the majority of people are not going to even bother to know or remember, even if they were taught markup. They're gonna be like, "Where's the frickin' bold button? Just give it to me." And this makes it much easier to access it instead of having to tap and make sure that you like tap in the right place or tap with the double tap or the right amount of time delay or whatever to hope maybe it comes up each time. Now it's just like tap, it's there, done. I wish it was one click. That would be nice, but that's not happening, I suppose.
I'm not really formatting that much when I'm on my phone. Maybe when I'm on the desktop, but
I do.
Oh, well.
But I tend to use my phone on the go almost as if I were in Google
Yeah.
Chat. I have my phone in front of me. That's why I'm staring at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's evolved to that point. It's, yes, I can get pretty much all of my work done on the phone. I don't like doing it that way. I much prefer my 4-monitor array set up in front of me. But, in a pinch, especially, I took my daughter to therapy this morning, and on the way, back from the car, I was able to just pound out some bunch of stuff, and it was able to be done as if I was sitting at my desk, which was really nice.
yeah.
Or in the waiting room, rather. That's where it was that I was doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on
you know.
I'm on a minimum of 3 devices a day, so
Yeah.
probably even.
Well, I have an iPad Pro that I carry around, and I've got my iPhone 13 Pro Max, whatever the hell it's called. And then sometime, like if I'm going for all day, then I'll grab my laptop, whether it's MacBook Pro or the not the CR48, the CX, what do I have? CX9, the Asus CX9. I still didn't do the unboxing video on that. Oh my god, I really got to edit that.
Have you actually
I
unboxed
totally,
it?
yeah,
You
I've been using
recorded
it for
it? You did?
weeks. Yeah, I recorded
okay.
it. I unboxed it. I've been using it. I totally forgot about it. We've talked about about this laptop.
Yeah. Yes, we have. I just didn't realize.
I totally
forgot
forgot
that
to
you
edit
recorded
that.
it.
I've been busy on a couple of other things. I got contracts signed for 2 more shows now, so it's been getting busy around here.
Ooh, 2 more shows.
Now I got to get back to editing so that, yeah, SAS Showdown and a as yet to be named cybersecurity show
Okay.
coming soon.
Nice. When does the SAS Showdown become? I mean, the SAS Showdown's kind of like already happening, right? It's like just a.
It's not. I mean, it's already recorded. Season 1 is recorded. Release is imminent.
Yeah.
Just finishing up some details and be ready to go hopefully very soon.
Cool.
Yeah, the whole first season of that is done, so
That's good.
it'll be fun. Video is not in the first season, though. That'll be season 2. Season 1 is just a podcast.
Yeah.
Similar
that's the way
to
do
our
it.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we digress.
All right. Rollout on this one. Rapid release, scheduled release domains. Going to see this on an extended rollout. starting on the 25th of April, and that'll be longer than 15 days. It's available to all Workspace customers and users with personal Google accounts. All right, next. This is some changes to the Google Docs kind of file menu locations here. So enhanced menus in Google Docs. It's going to improve findability of key features on desktop. So there will be shortened menus for better navigation, a reorg for more intuitive feature location, and prominent icons for faster recognition.
It's a nice way of saying they're rearranging the menus and confusing me all over again.
Right. Exactly.
I already have it. I can't find anything.
Yeah.
The first time I loaded it, I was like, what? What am I looking at? Where's the stuff? Where's the thing I'm looking for?
Yeah. One thing that they call out in this is that AppScript related functionality is now grouped under the new extensions menu.
Yep.
And that includes access to the AppScript IDE as well as management of add-ons.
Yeah. I joke, but it does look nice. It is a well-designed...
I haven't noticed it yet.
Really? Haven't gotten it? It's
I
live for me in our show notes.
Yeah?
Yep.
I think it's there. New document from gallery, approvals new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Well, approvals is, a little bit further down, but yeah, it's there. Same as the screenshot that's on the release notes.
Yep.
You didn't even
so.
notice. I don't use menus all that often. I'm more of a keyboard shortcut warrior, but then when I opened it, I was like, a little bit of shock there. Whoa.
Yeah, there's not a shortcut. That's the one thing I was maybe hoping with this update is that there would be more keyboard shortcuts or customizable shortcuts for some things. That would be nice.
I do like customizable shortcuts, except you don't like when I change them. I changed the Gmail archive.
Yeah.
It's A for archive. It's not that hard. R for reply, C for
e-discovery.
Sure. Except that would be Control Shift or Command Shift E to go to the e-discovery. No, I'm just kidding. Not a function I would do in Gmail.
Yeah.
A for archive, right. R for reply. It's not that hard.
Yeah, not too much more to discuss about this one. That is going to be on by default. No admin control for this one. And rapid release and scheduled release domains are going to see this on an extended rollout with an anticipated completion by the end of May. So just started, going to take all month to get out to everyone. And it's available to everyone on Google Workspace, as well as Legacy G Suite, basic and business customers, and available to those on personal Google accounts as well. And then last but not least, in terms of our updates, we have warning banners alert users of suspicious Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides files on the web. And I thought there might have been a little screenshot image of what this looked like, but no, there's not. But they previously announced warning banners for potentially malicious and dangerous files in Drive. So this is something that is being extended to at the file level. And if you open up Docs, Sheets, or Slides on the web, you'll see these warnings. No admin control for this on the admin side, but you can check more out in the help article where it talks about advanced phishing and malware protection. And then in terms of rollout for this one, rep release and schedule release domains are going to see this starting to roll out on the 27th of April, so last week, and on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility here, available to all Workspace customers as well as those on Legacy, Basic, and Business. And that's a wrap for our updates. I've got a few things here in our other topics.
Yeah,
and I'll let you, Jesse, take it away from first couple there.
I will take it away. The first one is a productivity expert's tips for returning to the office, written by one of my favorites, Laura Mae Martin. Hopefully one day I'll have the pleasure of meeting her. She has a great title, by the way, Executive Productivity Advisor.
We should get her. We should reach out to her.
I think I did at one point and didn't hear back, but we're a little bit of a bigger presence now, so maybe we should try again. We'll work
sponsors
our
now.
internal channel magic to see what we can do there. So she has written a wonderful blog post here of the top 10 tips for being productive in a hybrid work environment, which is critically important for companies like Google that are trying to go back to the office. We'll see how successful they are at doing that. I have to say, when I was at the Google office this week, it was kind of a ghost town. There were people there. And quite frankly, if I had to go into an office, that'd be a really nice office to go into. Not that I would want to go every day, but there were certainly people there, and it wasn't like the place was completely empty. More and more companies are going into the hybrid work environment. Thankfully, mine is not one of them. I am forever working from home, hence the studio setup, which is wonderful. Couple of tips here just to give you a taste. You can go and read them all on the blog. We'll link to it in the show notes and, as they say in YouTube world, down below. One is to make sure that people know who you are. So you want to make sure that you set your where you are. Can't read apparently. Where you are. You want to set your working location and calendar, your working calendar. Obviously, I can't talk either. It's been a long night. My kids are absolute terrorists tonight. I know most people are going to be listening to this tomorrow and they'll be like, "Night, what is he talking about?" But oh my God, my daughter had a full-on meltdown because she wanted to sleep on the floor. No. First, she wanted to go to. She didn't want to go to bed, and then she refused to get in bed.
To sleep.
Yeah, and she's like, "I want to sleep on the floor." I'm like, "Then why didn't you just say that? You didn't have to have an hour-long meltdown. You could just say that from the get-go." But she's 3, and that's obviously not an option for her. So I'm a little cooked in the head tonight. Anyway, use the ability to tag your working location and your working hours in calendar and RSVP to meetings with your location so that people know where you're going to be so that they can accommodate accordingly. That's a good one. It takes advantage of a nice new feature there that they've been rolling out there. And I've actually done that a couple of times. I've said I'll take this meeting remotely or in person. Not that our conference room is fully back. Actually, nobody's used it. But I did happen to be in the office that day. So I was like, I will mark myself in office. So that was a pretty good one. Another one is add other responsibilities to Google Calendar. This is actually a policy that we instated at Westland at my day job here, because especially during COVID, we did it before, but especially during COVID, with everything that's going on, you want to put other events. If you have commute time, if you have somewhere else to go, you got to take an hour off. You don't even have to put what it's for. Just block out the time in your calendar so that people know I'm not at my desk, because it's not like they can walk past my desk in the office and see that I'm not there repeatedly for, an hour or whatever it is. You can just look at the calendar, see that the person is not there. So that's always a really good one. Another interesting tip here is to group meetings by type, content, and location whenever possible. This is a little bit difficult to do, but as I said, I want to try and get your project work time all grouped into a block of time, preferably larger than the others, for project work, so that you can actually build up momentum and get things done, and then have a block for meetings or team updates or things like that. And I don't know that they specifically say in this paragraph here, but they do have in the screenshot one of my top tips, which is literally block yourself out time for lunch. It is extremely important in a work-life balance, whether you eat or not. Take a break. Now, it's California law. In fact, we harangue our employees to go and take lunch because we get in trouble as an employer if you don't within the first 5 hours of working in the day. But regardless, we're all working from home, or many of us are working from home, or even if you're not working from home, it's healthy. Get up off your butt and go for a walk. Go to run an errand. Go pick up some food. Go eat something. So that's something that is one of my pro tips as well. So definitely throwing that in there, whether it's there or not. Anyway, I'll let everyone, if you're interested, go in through the blog post here and read the rest of them, and we can move on to the next major update here, which is another very helpful article, which they seem to have brought back from the old days. They bought a company that did this and never really incorporated. This is on-demand training for Google Workspace from beginner to advanced. Now, I don't know if you remember, Steve, way back when in the early days of, 2018 or something. What was that company called?
It's a Canadian
Yeah,
company.
it was a Chrome extension that had training videos for how, training your end users on how to use the various, at the time, G Suite products.
Yeah.
Try to remember what it was called. Those videos were great, and they never came back. It's very disappointing. you remember what they were called? I don't. Whatever. It'll come to me eventually, or I'll Google it and I'll find it. They have now launched, and this is also on the Google Cloud blog, and we'll link to it in the notes and down below in the video, etc., etc. They are offering a bunch of different training workflows here. Hands-on labs with instructions, complete a scenario in a specified amount of time, etc. There's links to calendar, docs, drives, Gmail, Meet and Chat, sheets, and slides, and additional training resources. They have even more than that, but essentially it's guides, walkthroughs to be able to learn. Okay, here's how you compose an email if you're that basic, or advanced if you want to do something further than that. Just clicking in. You can see they have some of it is in just like your regular support type articles, and other training or tips in here is in the actual Google Cloud Skills Boost area, and is an enrollment course that you can go in and get a completion badge on. So a couple of different areas that they're pointing you to for each of these different areas. So definitely take a look at that, especially if you are onboarding new people, or if you're in my position where you have a lot of people that are not necessarily the most tech savvy and or are coming from an Outlook environment or not using collaborative software in the past type of environment. I think this will be very helpful for everyone.
Yeah, and that is Synergize was the name of the company.
Synergize, that's right. That's what it was.
Yep. The interactive learning platform they acquired on May 2nd, 2016.
I actually downloaded all of those videos, by the way. Don't tell the folks over at Google Copyright. I didn't upload them or share them anywhere, but I have them. They're totally not effective anymore because they, redesigned Gmail 3 times since then.
Oh, yeah.
But, the original stuff is still there. I should upload that to the Tab Geeks shared drive for posterity so that, 10 years from now we can roll them out and be like, this is what it looked like back then. All right. The next one on here is we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the episode here, is how to link a timestamp in a Google Drive video. It's very simple. It's just like you would do in a YouTube video if you wanted to say start at 28 seconds in or 5 minutes and 30 seconds in, whatever it is. When you're getting the link, you can paste it in and you just add the the timestamp at the end there, view equals view question mark
right.
T equals, and then the exact timestamp you want on there. And I didn't know that also worked on Google Drive files, Google Drive video files. So that's good to know.
Yeah, because it's basically a YouTube video, but
right?
It's like a slimmed down version of a YouTube player.
Yeah, slimmed down is you hit the nail on the head there, but not quite. It's not just slimmed down. It seems to not take advantage of the CDN because it takes forever to load. And when it loads, like it takes, sorry, I take that back, reverse it. It takes forever to process. It loads rather quickly once it's processed. That being said, every time I have a 4K video that I've taken from a drone or I've taken recording on a computer, something like that, surveillance, whatever it is, if it's a high quality, it doesn't, when I click play, it'll play it in like 360p until I pause it and then unpause it, and it'll jump to the higher quality every single time. And this isn't just on one tenant. I've tried it on multiple Workspace accounts and tenants, and it's just like, it's the YouTube infrastructure. It's the YouTube player. Just tie it in the rest of the way and give us the wonderful YouTube streaming experience we've come to know and love.
Yeah, but
that's my.
But isn't that like adaptive bit rate? Like it detects what?
To what? It has a problem with my gigabit connection, my gigabit internet connection.
That same thing happens with
literally have 800 meg. No, on YouTube it loads like that. YouTube, I do not have this problem. 100% no.
Did you change the setting in YouTube to default always to high quality?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
I don't
I've tried it on multiple
YouTube
accounts.
I don't think there is one actually. Always to default to high quality.
I should bring that.
I always have issues with videos not playing back in high enough quality on YouTube.
Well, then you need a better internet connection. Sounds like.
It's the same. It's full gig connection.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's the consumer side of the business, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to some of the folks that I was talking to recently over at Google.
What I notice about that similar scenario is that the encoded versions of the videos in Google Drive, when they play back through the player, they're not nearly as high quality, as what I would have if that file was playing locally on the machine.
Agreed.
You know, I'll have like a super high resolution video that sometimes only gets 720p max resolution on the encoded version in Drive, which I find weird. I'm like, why am I getting 720? I just uploaded a 4K video or, you know, a high quality video.
How long after it was uploaded do you check that? Because I've had mine take days.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. You know what? It's a good. I'm pretty sure that I've been checking these, you know, with a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So I know. Yeah, I know the higher resolution might take longer.
I can tell you, even uploading our weekly show here to YouTube takes almost 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on the load that they have on the system, to encode into HD. Never mind 4K. 4K is like overnight. So anybody who wants to watch the show in highest quality, wait until Wednesday. Just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that one. The last one, I think we already talked about this. Is just the Workspace search concept video and feedback form. Is there anything else you want to add to this from the beginning of the episode?
No, we covered that one.
All right. And then just, again, the reminder for G Suite Legacy free edition folks. The deadline is coming up. So if you have moved over, then get in touch with support and be like, oh, I want to join the waitlist for the no-cost option. If you haven't moved over, join the waitlist for the no-cost option when you see it show up in your dashboard. If you haven't, I don't think, has anyone seen it? I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it? The no-cost option waitlist? I haven't checked. I forgot to check.
No, the only link I have right now is the no-cost option, is that you get 4 months for free.
Right, that's not the no-cost option.
Well, no, I know. It's not the permanent no-cost option. It's the temporary no-cost option.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I guess this is also a good time to think about, testing out that CubeBackup solution and
there you go.
Seeing if,
because
I have multiple legacy environments, and
yikes. Me too.
I'd be interested to see.
I don't use any of them.
Yeah, well, I do. I'd be interested to see how this works with doing like multiple environments all at once and connecting into there. Because like I have GAM set up, or not a GAM. I have GYB set up, which then also means I have GAM or I have rclone. So, I can probably do a relatively easy move of data across each of those environments. But yeah, interested to see what this Cube thing can do. Because I know there's some legacy domains out there that have, more than 10 users. There's actually hundreds of users in some of these environments. So
yeah, people have been using them for teams or clubs or groups or special interest groups, kind of a thing. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I have in my dashboard is the act now and switch to Google Workspace, and says value customer blah blah blah, switch by June 1st. And it says, or in the coming weeks, you'll be able to join a waitlist for a no-cost option. Well, folks, in coming weeks is June 1st, so get on it. Google, when's that going to show up? I don't know.
Yeah, so right now, if you do want to move to Workspace, you get it free until September, it looks like. Is it 4 months you get it for free?
I think so.
Yeah, like in mine, it's showing, I don't know if it will change because it shows May 2nd to September 2nd as being free. So 4 months.
So I saw a post that somebody made that the longer you wait, the longer your discount goes for. So you may want to wait till the last possible second if you want to do that.
Right, of course, because if you're not paying anything now, and you're not paying anything for 4 months, and then you're paying half price for 12 months.
Yep.
Well, right, exactly. So you would probably want to wait till June 1st to initiate that discount. Yep.
Or the day before.
Makes sense. Yeah, the day before. Exactly.
Yeah, I have the same notice that you do. Except the minus in dollars.
Instead of pounds. Yeah.
Instead of pounds.
I wonder what the recommended Workspace subscription is if you have like different storage in your environment or different number of users. So, because I think mine is showing, what is mine showing? Well, mine's showing starter, but I'm wondering if there's any.
Mine also shows starter, but I have a decent amount of storage in there, but it looks like it's just the basic standard setup here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It actually doesn't even give me the option to change to a different tier, which is interesting.
Oh. You know what we didn't talk about?
What didn't we talk about?
The in-person event in Chicago next week in
right.
the Chicago office of Google. So
hit up Steve.
Yeah, if you are or know anyone in Chicago, there's an Avocor event happening at the Google campus in Chicago here, and you got to register ahead of time. So I don't know if the registration link is still available, but I will find it. We'll put it in the notes. And
Sweet.
It's happening Thursday morning. I think there was also another session in the afternoon that day. So you can either schedule one for the morning. Mine's like 9 o'clock first thing. I want to be there bright and early. And you get some hands-on experience with the new Avocor equipment. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm just going to get a virtual demo. I don't get the hands-on yet.
Well,
the one West Coast one they did was in San Francisco, which is way up north and far away from me, so that wasn't happening.
Yeah, and still no word on next in person or not, which is unfortunate.
I'm hearing through the grapevine that they don't know yet what they're going to do, and worse than that, they don't even have necessarily the schedule locked. So let's all take a deep breath and wait a minute and see what happens. They have until October?
I mean, the AWS London event just happened, I think, in person this last week at Excel Center. So
I just went to Google in person this last week, so...
Yeah, but no one was there. That's the problem. No one's there.
No, there was 30, 40 people there per event. It was
what I mean
decent.
is like no one was at the office of Google. That's what I mean.
No, there was a decent amount of people there. It was not totally a ghost town. It was dead by what I would expect normal
It was a
Google
ghost town before
to
be. a lot of times. Like I would go to floors at Google offices and just be empty. There'd be like 10 people on an entire floor of a building.
Yeah. I hear that, but there have also been times when I've gone and it would just be a madhouse. But this was like there were 4 people in the game room, so we had a nice game of foosball in.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was actually really funny. There was I went on a tour of the Spruce Goose office before we wrap up the episode here. One quick little story, and what ended up happening was there was this guy on the tour with me, and it was one of those kind of like, you look familiar, I look familiar kind of thing, but we didn't really say anything. And then we started talking again, and he said something. He's like, did you, by any chance, go to Google Next 2018? And I was like, yeah. He's like, did you, by any chance, spend a bunch of time over at the foosball table? I was like, I knew it. I knew that you were the guy. He and I, that was Mitch. He and I ended up hanging out, rocking out by the foosball table, dominating for hours because we're both foosball aficionados. It was an 8-foot foosball table. It was bizarre at this conference. I don't know if you remember it. It was massive. Yeah. It fit like a whole mess load of people on each side. And we basically were emceeing the table for 2 hours that night. It was great. It was just really funny.
I think I went to 19, not 18.
19, I couldn't go. I just had a baby. So I missed
18,
that one,
I think, was the year I just came back from Chicago. I didn't.
18 was a good year.
Yeah.
It was a good concert, good show. Yeah, I miss Next. I really do. I enjoy it. I do wish that Workspace had their own show, and I will continue bitching about this until it happens. Or I'll make my own, one or the other. It is inevitable.
I mean, you've already done the make your own before, so
I have.
Might as well just do that.
May as well go full-blown Google Workspace Summit. 3 days, all Workspace, all the time. Don't tempt me. I might do it. I just might. We'll see. All right, before I get into any more trouble, that's all for this week. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website, workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Drop your comments below. Send us your questions. We love hearing from all of you. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, anything, send them our way. Also, you can join our community on Slack. Just go to tabgeeks.com, sign up over there. We also have a newsletter. I don't really promote those often enough. I really should. Anyway, have a great week. We'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.